So my name's Jean, and I'm working with Issie, and my section is all about Marilyn's contemporaries, her influence, and there's a section on Marinalia as well. So the first time I heard the word Marinalia was from Phil, so that was great. I wrote that down instantly. I was like, what a fab word. I'd like to include that in the exhibition. Did find some really interesting stuff. It's a fine balance, because I think Phil made a really good point about you want to demonstrate her scope and her influence, but Issie and I are interested in the kind of dignity behind it and her professionalism and things like that. So when you're doing Marinalia, it's interesting having that in mind. When you have things like several Marilyn Monroe musicals, you have birthday cards, you have keyrings, you have entire catalogues filled with Marilyn dolls, you have catalogues full of professionally taken Marilyn pictures, you have lunchboxes, you have mugs. You can kind of demonstrate the scope in that respect.
Definitely.
And it's still visually appealing and it's still interesting, and you still think, wow, oh my goodness, like how much merch for one woman. It can sort of dilute her. So some people could argue it dilutes her legacy, and it kind of she becomes this kind of, it's like iconography, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Issie has put such care into her section of life, career, death. From the beginning, Phil's direction was really clear and really resonated with both of us. He, was really interested in her career and the scope of her career and the effort that she put in, and her kind of influence on her contemporaries and people to come, like Madonna is a really obvious one. That's been really fun. Less obvious ones like Scarlett Johansson, and I did want to do a little bit of the Kim Kardashian stuff and Sydney Sweeney, but because Kim Kardashian isn't part of the film, not part of that media, I guess, we don't have anything on her, especially when it pertains to Marilyn. That's the first thing that came to mind, obviously, because I think it was like 2024 or something like that. It was so recent and it was so scandalous that the dress had been altered by somebody who is comparable to Monroe, just in terms of image, not necessarily in terms of career or personality, but in terms of recognisability. I found a fashion book that has the dress in it, so hopefully in the exhibition I'll be able to reference it slightly, and I think people who are aware of the Kim Kardashian dress stuff will be able to kind of make that connection and make that link. I just thought that was really interesting in terms of popular culture, how easy it is for attractive, glamorous women in media to be separated from their ingenuity, hard work, dedication and savviness just in the industry. They're not credited in that respect, and I think that comes back to Marilyn because she was a very hard worker and she went to acting classes and things like that, and that's not hugely common, especially for someone who did it after her career started and decided to study method acting after her career. And Jane Fonda comes to mind as well, learned the Lee Strasberg method, which Marilyn did as well, so that's interesting. Of course, Jane Fonda is iconic. She's easily recognisable, she has a pattern, she has a look.